Hello everyone, welcome back to online class. I am AKKAMAHADEVI from Upper Public School, Kalaburagi. So today I am here with the same chapter, that is light, shadows and reflections. So before starting this class, let us recall what we have learnt in the previous class, isn't it? Yes. So in the previous class, we have learnt about light. So what is the definition of light? Yes, light is a form of energy. Okay, so what was the definition of light? Light is a form of energy. So the examples of light were sun, bulb and so on. And even we have learnt about luminous object. Okay, so what do you mean by luminous object? An object which produces light is called a luminous object. Okay, so what is the definition of luminous object? An object which produces light is called a luminous object. And the examples are sun, bulb, candle, torch and so on. Okay, and here are the examples. You can see here sun, candle, torch. Okay, so these are the examples of luminous object. Okay, so even we have learnt about non-luminous object. Okay, so what do you mean by non-luminous object? An object which does not produce light is called non-luminous object. Okay, so here an object which does not produce light is called non-luminous object. And the examples moon, mirror and so on. Okay, and here are the images. So here you can see moon and here you can see mirror. So these are the examples of non-luminous object. And even we have learnt about transparent object, isn't it? So what do you mean by transparent object? Yes, those objects which allow all the light to pass through them are called transparent objects. So what do you mean by transparent object? Those objects which allow all the light to pass through them are called transparent objects. And even we have seen lots of examples in the previous class, isn't it? Yes, so here transparent glass. These are the transparent glass which we can see in the bakeries, isn't it? Yes. So next we have learnt about translucent object. So what do you mean by translucent object? Yes. There are some objects through which we can see. Okay. There are some objects through which we can see, but not clearly. Okay. So this you should keep in your mind, that there are some objects which we can see but not clearly. Such objects are known as translucent object. Okay, and examples of translucent object, here is a glass, translucent. Okay, and here also a glass. See here, we can see a person who is standing behind the glass, but exactly we cannot identify who is she or he. Okay, fine. So even we have discussed about opaque object. Okay, so what do you mean by opaque object? If an object completely stops the passage of all the light. Okay, if it stops the passage of all the light falling on it, it is an opaque object. Which when it stops the passage of all the light falling on it, then that object is called as opaque object. Okay, and the examples of an opaque object are glass, wooden box, rubber tire. Okay, yes, and see the differences of the transparent, translucent and opaque. Okay, so here is transparent and here is translucent. Okay, and here is opaque. So here in the transparent we can see that all light passes through. Okay, so where in the transparent we can see that all light passes through, and in the translucent some light passes through. Okay, in the translucent only some light passes through, and in the opaque no light passes through. Okay, so in the transparent what happens? All light passes through, and in the translucent some light passes through, and in the opaque no light passes through. Okay, yes. So now we will see what exactly are shadows. So first we will discuss what you mean by shadow, isn't it? Yes. So shadows means an area of darkness formed by an opaque object obstructing light is called a shadow. Okay, so what do you mean by shadow? An area of darkness formed by an opaque object obstructing light is called a shadow. Okay. So when shadows are formed, so we came to know that what is shadow. So now let us see how shadows are formed. Okay. So here shadow is formed when light falls on an opaque object. So this I have explained in the previous class, isn't it? So here is an wooden cardboard. Okay, so take this cardboard. Otherwise, you take any wooden table. Okay, so when you try to pass a light through this cardboard, what happens? Whether the light passes through this board? No. Why? Because it is an opaque object, isn't it? So when we pass a light through the opaque object, instead of passing the light, what happens? It forms a shadow. So here you can see the shadow of this board, isn't it? So here the shadow forms a, here the board forms a shadow. Okay. So when we try to pass a light through an opaque object, so it forms a shadow. Got it? Yes. So here is the same. Shadow is formed when light falls on an opaque object. Okay. Yes. So here you can see a big tree, isn't it? So here, what is the statement? Shadow is formed in the direction opposite to the source of light. So here how the shadows are formed? Yes, shadows are formed opposite to the source of light. So if the source of light is here, then the shadow will be opposite. It means the shadow will be here. If the source of light is this side, then the shadow will be opposite of that. Exactly. The shadows will be here. So always shadow is formed in the direction opposite to the source of light. Okay. Yes. Next. Shadow gives us an idea of the shape of an object. Is it true? Yes. So what happens here? Shadow gives us an idea of the shape of an object. So here are few objects and here are few shadows. So let us try to match these objects with their shadows. Okay? Yes. Come. So here is dog. Okay. So we will find the shadow of this dog. Yes, 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 we got. So we will match. Yes. So the shadow of this dog is here. And the shadow of this duck is? Yes. And the shadow of this cat is? Here. And the shadow of this doll is? Here. Okay. And even here also few shapes are there. So here is square. So the shadow of this square is? Yes. Okay. And here is circle. And the shadow of this circle is here. And here is hexagon. Okay. And the shadow of this is here. And here next is heart. And the shadow of this heart is here. So next is star. Okay. And the shadow of this is yes. And last one is triangle. Okay. And the shadow of this triangle is here. So how easily we identified the shadows, isn't it? So how it is possible? Exactly, because shadow give us an idea of the shape of an object so that we can easily identify the shadows of the objects. Okay, yes. So next is shadows are dark irrespective of the color of the light or the object. Okay, so you can see here. You can see the animal, isn't it? Here is a dog. Okay. And here is the shadow of this dog. So now the color of the dog is here white, isn't it? Is it that the shadow should be also white? Exactly. The statement is that only. Shadows are dark, whether the object may be of any color. Okay. Shadows are dark irrespective of the color of the light or the object. Okay. Yes. So now this one. The closer the source of light, the larger the shadow would be. So this experience you all have got, isn't it? So in the absence of light, so when you torch a light in a room, so what happens when we torch a light on the wall, and if we see our image, it looks very bigger, isn't it? So same here, why it happens? Okay, so let us see. So when the closer an object is to the lighter source, the larger the shadow is it casts. Why? This is because an object closer to the source will block a larger area of the light, okay, increasing its shadow size, okay, so that the shadow we will see in a increasing size, okay, yes. So here, shadows of animals hidden in your hand. We should agree this, isn't it? So by using our hands, we can make shadow of so many animals like here, goose, goat, hare, ox, even of butterfly, wolf, and even of elephant, even teddy bear also, dog, donkey, okay? We can make the shadow of so many animals by using our hand, isn't it? So just we will do by holding like this near the shadow. If we do, so guess what is this? Exactly. If we see this by shadow, how it looks? It looks like the dog is barking, isn't it? So like this, we can make many more shadows of animals. Okay. So now here is one activity based on shadow. Okay. Shadow is obtained only on a screen. So whether you all agree with this, whether shadow is obtained only on a screen. So let us go through this activity. Okay. So for this activity, what you should do? You should go in the dark. Okay. What you should do? You should go in the dark in the evening in an open ground with like with your few friends. So this activity cannot be done by only one person. Okay. So along with your friends, so just you go in the dark in the evening in an open ground with your friends. Okay. So what you should take along with you? Yes, you should take a torch and a large sheet of cardboard with you. Okay, you should take a torch and also a sheet of cardboard. So hold the torch close to the ground. Okay, so what you should do? You should hold the torch close to the ground and shine it upwards so that its light falls on your friend's face. Okay, So how you should torch a light? So that the light should be on your friend's face. Okay. Now, have a source of light that is falling on an opaque object. Okay. If there were no trees, buildings or any other object behind your friend, would you see the shadow of your friend's head? Tell me. Now, as I said you to go to an open place where there are no trees, no buildings, nothing. Just it is an open place where you should torch a light on the face of your friend, and now you see whether you can see a shadow of your friend's face. Okay. You can see. This does not mean that there is no shadow. Okay. After all, the light from the torch is not able to pass through. Okay. It is not able to pass through his body to the other side. Okay. Now, ask another friend to hold the cardboard sheet behind your friend. Okay. So, now you tell to your another friend to hold the cardboard sheet behind your friend. Is the shadow now seen on the cardboard sheet? Tell me. Yes, isn't it? Thus, the shadow can be seen only on a screen, the ground, walls of a room, a building, or other such surfaces act as a screen for the shadows you observe in everyday life, isn't it? So now we came to a conclusion that shadow is obtained only on a screen. Okay? Yes. So now here is one more activity, interesting activity, that is about a pinhole camera. So just you observe this activity like video carefully, from which you will come to know that how to make a pinhole camera. Okay.
Pinhole camera. The principle of pinhole camera is based on rectilinear propagation of light, that is, light travels in a straight line. Let us learn the working and construction of pinhole camera. The image formed by a pinhole camera is inverted and smaller in size when compared to the original object. Pinhole cameras are cheap and simple to make. Let's learn how to make a pinhole camera. Take two rectangular boxes that fit into one another without leaving any gap. Make a small hole in the larger box at the center. On the opposite side of the small box, cut from the middle a square of about 5 to 6 centimeters. Cover this opening with tracing paper. Finally, slide the smaller box into the larger box, ensuring that the pinhole and the tracing paper are in line with one another. Keep a lighted candle at a distance of 50 centimeters from pinhole camera. Now, look at the candle through the hole of pinhole camera. You can see the inverted image of a candle on the screen of the camera. Slide the smaller box to adjust the focus so that you can capture the clear image of a candle. Now, let us see what are observations of the image formed in the pinhole camera. Number 1. Image of a candle formed is diminished in size. Number 2. Image of a candle formed is inverted. Number 3. Image of a candle formed has color.
Okay, so now just by seeing this video once again, try to make a pinhole camera from which if you see any object, it looks diminished in size and it looks inverted and even the image of color also. Okay, fine. So next here is one more activity. That is, light travels in a, like along a straight line. So here light travels along a straight line. So here on the screen you can see an image. Okay, so here and here. So for this activity, what we need? We need two candles, isn't it? And we need two pipes. One is straight and the another one is curved pipe. Okay, so let us start this activity. So yes, so here you see. So when you place a candle in front of you, okay, so when you place a candle in front of you and if you observe this candle through a straight pipe, so here what happens? This light reaches the eye, isn't it? So here the person is able to see the light of the candle when the pipe is straight. Okay, so the person who is standing here can see the light, okay, through this pipe. So when you take a curved pipe, okay, so there also just you place a candle in front of you, okay, as you placed earlier. So there you took a straight pipe and here you are taking a curved pipe. Okay, so here you take a curved pipe. Whether now is it possible to see this light through this curved pipe? Tell me. No, we cannot. So, person not able to see the light of the candle because here it is blocked. Okay, the person who is standing here can see the pipe till here. And here also the light can pass till this line. After that, the light has blocked so that this person is not able to see the light through this curved pipe. Okay, so that always the light travels in a straight line. Got it? Yes. So now next one is mirrors and reflections. Okay, so here a mirror reflects a beam of light. So this is the statement. A mirror reflects a beam of light. So in the image you can see three children are standing, isn't it? So one boy who is holding torch in his hand and the another girl who is holding mirror in her hand, and the child who is holding something? No, he is not holding anything. Okay, so when the boy who is holding torch in his hand, if he lights a torch on this mirror, what happens? This light gets reflected, isn't it? So let us see in the next clip. Okay, so here mirror means a smooth shining surface. Okay, so mirror means a smooth shining surface which rebounds the light back in the same or in different directions is called a mirror. Got it? So what do you mean by mirror? A smooth shining surface which rebounds the light back in the same or in the different directions is called a mirror. Okay, so what do you mean by reflection then? Let me tell you. The process through which light rays falling on the surface on an object are sent back is called reflection of light. So when you touch a light on the mirror, that is surface like mirror. So when it gets reflected, that is reflection. Okay. So here you can see a clear image how the light travels in a straight line and even how the light is getting reflected from a mirror, isn't it? So here is a torch, okay, and here is a mirror. So as you all can see, here is a torch and here is a mirror. So when you light a torch, so these are the beam of light, okay, so these are the rays of light which are reflecting here, isn't it? So when you touch a light on the mirror, what happens? It gets reflected. So these are the reflected light. Okay. Yes. So even you can say here also, see, here is a light. Okay. And here is a mirror. You can clearly see the reflected light which are coming from the mirror. So when we when we touch a light on the mirror, it gets reflected, that too in a straight line. So that the statement is here, light traveling in a straight line and getting reflected from a mirror. So here the rays are in a straight line which are getting reflected by the mirror. Okay. Yes. Yes. So here is one more activity. So you have seen lots of activities in this chapter, isn't it? So just try to do these activities. So let us see what is this activity. So for this activity, what you should do and what are the things we need. Okay. So we need thermocol, we need mirror, we need one comb. Okay. So how to do this activity? Let us see. So first what you should do, you should fix a comb on one side of a large thermocol sheet. Okay. So as you took one thermocol, isn't it? So what you should do? You should fix a comb on one side of a large thermocol sheet. So here as they have placed here, you can see the comb. Okay. Now what you should do? Fix a mirror on the other side as shown in the image. So here is a mirror. Okay. So fix comb and even fix mirror on the thermocol. Okay. Now spread a dark colored sheet of paper between the mirror and the comb. So here as you can see a dark color paper between the comb and the mirror. Okay. So now keep this in sunlight or send a beam of light from a torch through the comb. Either you keep this thermocol in the sunlight or you pass a light by using torch. Okay. What do you observe from this? Do you get a pattern similar to that shown in the image? Yes. So this activity gives us an idea of the manner in which light travels and gets reflected from a mirror, isn't it? So from this activity, what we came to know? Exactly. We came to know that light travels in a straight line and the mirror, it gets reflected. Okay? Fine. So hope you all enjoyed this class, isn't it? And even I hope that you all will try these activities in your home, isn't it? That's all for today's class. Thank you.